The United States and South Korea have been engaged in joint military exercises for some time, aimed primarily at deterring North Korea from potential invasion. Following a period of relative silence, North Korea's leader, Kim Jong-un, issued a stark warning, threatening the total annihilation of both South Korea and the USA in the event of provocation. Given the current global climate, marked by increasing polarization, the likelihood of a conflict erupting between North and South Korea is becoming an increasingly tangible possibility. In this video, we delve into the potential ramifications of a hypothetical war between North and South Korea, exploring various outcomes and their impact. We'll analyze how such a conflict might influence the global economy and examine the potential effects on South Korean culture, particularly the Hallyu Wave, known for its global cultural influence. Join us as we navigate these complex scenarios and their implications. Right now, the chance of war seems really high. There's the Russia-Ukraine war, the Israel-Gaza conflict, and China claiming Taiwan. All of this means the USA is very busy and might not be paying attention elsewhere. North Korea might see this as a chance to make a move, especially with the tough talk they've been using lately. This situation makes things quite risky for more conflicts to start. The world seems to be moving towards war, with many conflicts happening at the same time. It almost feels like there's a plan behind it. In the last World War, the USA came out on top and became very powerful, and basically took control of the world. Now, it makes you wonder, who would benefit if these current conflicts turn into bigger wars? However, that's a topic for another video. South Korea has replied to the statement made by the North Korean dictator by conducting decapitation drills. That's right. Training drills to kill Kim Jong-un. Mr. Kim isn't gonna let this one slide for sure. He recently stated that he has no desire to reunite the Korean subcontinent anymore, as he says South Koreans as the enemy. So shit is getting serious. Now, considering the potential consequences if such a conflict were to occur, we would undoubtedly witness significant geopolitical and economic ramifications. A war between these two nations would likely result in a polarized international landscape, with various countries aligning themselves with either side. Europe, Japan, and other NATO allies would probably support South Korea, while China, Russia, and anti-Western nations would likely back North Korea. Some countries might opt for a neutral stance, possibly taking India as a precedent. This division would lead to the world becoming more polarized than it already is. China, upon South Korea's response, issued a statement indicating its intent to strengthen ties with North Korea. This conflict presents a valuable opportunity for China, potentially enabling it to make a move on Taiwan. In such a scenario, countries like Japan and the Philippines could be compelled to join the conflict under pressure from the United States. The Pacific Ocean would become the stage for a full-fledged war. The economic toll of such a war would be devastating for all involved nations, particularly the USA, China, North and South Korea, and Japan, as conflicts invariably lead to economic hardships. To quote the philosopher Karl von Clausewitz, "To win a war against an entity is to not have a war at all." In the event of a war in Taiwan, there is a remote possibility that India might seek to reclaim territories taken over by China, such as parts of Jammu and Kashmir and northeastern India. However, it is highly unlikely, as India has historically not initiated any wars. Another potential development could be Russia's entry into the conflict. However, the relationship between Russia and China is not strong enough for Russia to provide military support, and there exists a level of mutual distrust, as evidenced by the presence of nuclear weapons aimed at each other on their respective borders. In summary, the East Asian region would be plunged into a catastrophic war, resulting in the devastation of the Korean Peninsula and Taiwan, far surpassing the destruction witnessed in Ukraine. Although the possibility of nuclear weapons being employed exists due to the nuclear capabilities of China, North Korea, and the USA, the prospect of mutual destruction and the dire consequences for humanity make this scenario unlikely. However, predicting the actions of our boy Kim Jong-un is not possible. Now, let's consider the scenario where only North Korea and South Korea go to war. North Korea would invade South Korea, particularly targeting cities like Seoul and Busan. In such a situation, these cities would likely be the first to face missile attacks. South Korea does possess a missile defense system known as the LSAM, long-range surface-to-air missile, similar in concept to Israel's Iron Dome. However, South Korea's missile defense may not be as sophisticated or precise as Israel's. Consequently, the cities would suffer significant damage, resulting in casualties. During such an invasion, women and children would likely seek refuge in neighboring countries like Japan. This influx of refugees might offer a solution to Japan's long-term population challenges. Young men in South Korea would probably be compelled to re-enlist in the military to bolster the nation's defense capabilities. In the absence of foreign intervention and the use of nuclear weapons, South Korea stands a good chance of defending itself, primarily due to its advanced military capabilities and support from the United States. It's worth noting that North Korea maintains a substantial military force, with 950,000 active personnel and 420,000 reserve personnel, giving them a numerical advantage in terms of active soldiers compared to South Korea. However, South Korea boasts a reserve force of 3 million soldiers, making it a formidable opponent. While the battle wouldn't be easy, South Korea would likely have the upper hand, and the outcome of the war could potentially lead to the unification of the Korean Peninsula, if South Korea chooses to invade North Korea after successfully defending itself. Invading a country with nukes is tricky, as nukes can always be used as a last-case scenario. The trick in this situation would be to assassinate Kim Jong-un and any successors, while simultaneously conducting a ground invasion and praying for the best. This war would also have immense economic impact on the world. While South Korea may not be a major supplier of natural resources, it is home to several massive companies like Hyundai, Samsung, and LG, which are intricately connected to the global economy. In the event of a war, these companies would likely need to relocate their headquarters, incurring substantial losses in the process. Additionally, not widely known is South Korea's significant role in global semiconductor manufacturing, with an estimated market share of around 20%. A conflict in South Korea would disrupt semiconductor production, leading to increased prices for various products worldwide. If China decides to invade Taiwan during this period, semiconductor manufacturing will basically come to a halt worldwide. Advanced semiconductor manufacturing will take a few years to shift to new locations and operate on full capacity again. The tech industry will take a hit globally with minimal chips to rely on. Development of technologies such as AI will slow down, and many people will lose their jobs. Developed nations across the world are already teetering on the edge of recession, and if this war were to occur, the Western world would almost certainly face economic downturns. This would result in more people falling into poverty, and may even lead to starvation in the poorest corners of the earth. Furthermore, such a conflict could trigger a refugee crisis in Asia, as people would seek safety in neighboring countries. This is slightly off topic, but I feel as though it needs to be mentioned. Many companies like BlackRock and Vanguard seem to profit from the wars. As we have seen, BlackRock was given the reconstruction contract for Ukraine. This is also the case for weapon manufacturing companies, which immensely profit from war. This puts profit and humanity head-to-head and is a conflict of interest, meaning starting wars is in the interest of these companies and the politicians that receive donations from these companies. That was slightly off topic. Coming back to the video, let's consider the impact of the war on the Hallyu wave, which has gained immense popularity worldwide. This situation would be disheartening for countless K-pop and K-drama enthusiasts, as entertainment from South Korea would likely come to a halt during the conflict. Music labels and production companies would face the challenge of making significant adjustments and adaptations. While K-content might continue, the mandatory military service for most popular male stars would severely disrupt the industry. This disruption could lead to K-pop and K-dramas being produced outside of South Korea, potentially diminishing the charm and popularity of Korean culture over time. Fans may also see their favorite idols and actors become casualties of war during this period. The celebrities enlisted in the army will naturally have to fight on the front lines if push comes to shove, and in that case casualties will be bound to happen. In essence, the war would undoubtedly be a difficult period for those who enjoy and appreciate Korean culture through entertainment. In conclusion, the possibility of a war between North and South Korea is a serious and complex issue with far-reaching consequences. The potential impact on the global economy, the lives of civilians, and the vibrant Korean entertainment industry cannot be understated. As we've explored these scenarios and their implications, it becomes clear that the ramifications of such a conflict would extend well beyond the Korean Peninsula. Thank you for joining us in this discussion, and please share your thoughts and insights in the comments below.